Hey y'all, I'm Sonia Narua. I am so excited. Woo! First video. So, I'm very excited about this because I cannot wait to share with you guys all of the things that I have learned and all of the wonderful things that God has been doing in my life. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't really like, I love public speaking, but I don't like to record myself, if that makes sense. It's kind of one and the same, but not really. The first thing that ran through my mind when I was attempting and praying about this and when God was kind of telling me to just minister or talk to others was that everyone's going to think I'm trying to be a pastor. I fall short of the glory of God every day, okay? It's a daily worth ethic that I provide to my walk with Christ. A little bit of history about myself. I'm Nigerian American. Born and raised in, I was born in Texas, Dallas, Texas. I was born in Austin, and I now live in Houston. So I'm just a Texas roamer. I love Texas. So, I mean, growing up, I had different, I grew up the Nigerian way through my parents, but then also too, I grew up the American way by, nationality. And so I have a perspective of like parents from a different culture, and I also have perspective of growing up the American way, which has been great. It's been a catch-22 at times, but it's pretty amazing to just have that culture and to have. So I have a bunch of clients, and every time they come to me and we're talking, for some reason, I always subtly will talk to them, and it's however it happens, we're always talking about Jesus. We're always talking about God. And it's just so remarkable how God does things in the way that he does them. I don't ever intend to talk to anybody about it, but it just kind of happens. And so when it happens, God kind of reassures me like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, Lord, no. But he's like, yeah, go ahead. So I'm pretty excited to kind of talk to you guys about the things that I talk to them about, my friends about. Everybody in my family knows that I wouldn't say I'm a difficult person, but I would say I'm a very discerning person. I'm very careful what I talk about, how I talk to others. People tend to look at you like you have it all. All of my life, people think I have it all because I accomplish things or because I walk away, I talk away, I dress away. All of that stuff doesn't matter at all because literally, I know a lot of times it's kind of difficult to want to think of yourself in the light that you shine in. I try to dim my light a lot of times. I don't want people to know that I'm so into God sometimes, or I don't want people sometimes to think that I'm trying to convert them, or I don't want people to think that I know it all, or I don't want people to feel like another reason in a way to hate me, or another reason in a way to not like me. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about I'll pray for you, right? I have a lot of friends lately that call me and they've had several issues or another, and I'm always the person that I listen to my friends. I don't really give my advice unless they ask me because that's just the way I was kind of brought up and raised, like, hey, keep your opinion to yourself unless someone asks for it. But it'll be I'll pray for you. So we're going to discuss negativity. We're going to discuss hatred, jealousy, and pride. When I was growing up, I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I was in talented and gifted programs. So many things that a cultural parent would love to brag about, but so many things that an American child would want to shy away from. Growing up, I was the one who my mother dressed me well. Hygiene is very important to my parents. How you present yourself. My mother is a type of person, she won't leave the house without a lipstick. So I learned from her. And in return, I got a lot of backlash for it all my life growing up. From elementary school to girls cutting my hair off and, standing in line because I had long hair. From middle school to girls laughing and joking because I'm African. From high school to girls upset that I excelled scholarly and in sports. Or that I was thin, I was small, I was skinny, I was fit, athletic. All the way into college to girls thinking that I was somehow popular even though I had one or two friends. all the way up until law school when girls didn't like me because guys liked me. There's the same like repetitiveness my entire life, and I never understood why. It's kind of like when jealousy, it exuberates or it shows itself in a way. When jealousy kind of rears its ugly head, a lot of people don't know how to respond to it. In elementary school, I was the typical child that would come home and cry. I would cry, say, "Mommy, please take me out of school. I want to be homeschooled." Typical Nigerian fashion, my mom would say, "You go to that school. It doesn't matter. They don't need to be your friends." And in my head, I'm like, I need friends. Like, what are you saying to me? I need some friends. So I would cry. In middle school, I would cry. Then I started getting to a pivoting point in my middle school years that I said, okay, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to instigate a fight. I'm going to start the fight. Then I got to high school where, forget y'all, I look good and you look at you. Or, you start to kind of transition your mindset into feeling like you don't care. By the time I even got to college, I became numb to it. I just expected it. Now, what I didn't prepare myself for was when I was going into law school or when I was, joining different organizations in life, I had no clue that it would continue into my adult years. I know plenty of times people will tell you, hey, just because you're an adult doesn't make you, mature. I get that. But I just felt like if I carried myself quietly, why me? But in law school, I learned the most about myself. That was I would say my character building years, as me and my friends like to call it, that graduated, that I'm close to. It's our character building years. I remember there was a seminar or something going on at law school, and they had brought this judge in. Everyone was talking about this judge, and I was so excited to meet her. Sitting in the audience, she was inspiring me. I was like, wow, I wonder if I can intern with her. I wonder if I just can get to know her. Can I talk to her? How can I know this lady? How can I be in her presence? It was so enlightening to just hear her story. And I'm like, she's just like me. So I was thinking to myself, like, wow, I need to know this lady. Like, I need to know her. And I get there, and after the conference and we call them CLEs in law school. After the CLE was over, I stood in line. I remember it was a long line. I probably was fourth in line to wait and speak to her. And I walk up, all nerdy. I got my bag with me. I got my books. I'm dragging my little suitcase. And, I knew she was coming that day, so I dressed really nice, everything like that. The first thing that occurred when I walked up to her, she said, you real cute. You're good for happy hour, but you're not good to work in my office. My face was like, I'm trying to understand, what does she mean? What is she saying to me? She was like, I would never hire somebody that looks better than me. I would never hire somebody that looks better than me. You cute, but like I said, you're only cute for happy hour. All that you got going on? Oh, no, ma'am. But if you like, you can step to the side and sign up with my secretary so that we can have lunch. I graciously as I could, I said, thank you so much. Great. Nice to meet you, Judge. And I turned around and didn't sign with her secretary. I walked away. And when I walked away, I immediately walked outside because I had like tears welling up in my eyes and I didn't really know what to say. And I just remember my classmate that runs after me outside. So at this point, she's calling my name. So I'm trying to like suck my tears back, do this little thing here so I don't look so ugly because I was about to cry. And people that know me know that I typically don't cry in front of people. It's very rare that you'll ever see me cry in front of somebody. And so she says, girl, I heard what that judge said. Immediately she said that to you, 10 of us stepped out of line. They don't even know you, but everybody was so disgusted by what she did. And it got me thinking like, wow, I'm glad they stood up for me. I'm glad they thought that way, but I had to start thinking about my perception of things. She was like, girl, that lady needs prayer. She needs prayer. All through law school, I had a very difficult time. When I tell you that you encounter so many characters, so many personalities, like the demons that are roaming around in that school. It's a great school, positive school, but you have to really go in there prayed up. So the topic, like I said, I'll pray for you. I just want to let you guys know, like, all of those things that people try to do to instill anxiety, stress, low self-esteem, depression in your life, they have no dominion over you. I could have easily have walked out of there and said, I quit law school. I don't want to do this again. I can never work for any judge. I can never work for any lady attorney. I can never work with any. Furthermore, for me, in that instance, any black woman. I could have said that. But it didn't deter me. It didn't shake my foundation. It didn't shake the light that God shines within me. I took it for what it was. And yeah, I wanted to cry because you get to a point you're so tired of people always feeling like they can say whatever they want to say about you, come at you any kind of way because they think that you have it all. Because I present myself well and I dress well does not mean I have it all. If I had it all, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in a line to speak to you. No one has power over your life. No one can control you. Their negativity cannot control you. Hatred cannot control you. People will sit there and say, I'll pray for you. And my first response is, girl, pray for yourself. Pray for yourself. And you know why? I don't want nobody wishing nothing negative onto me. You might be praying and your prayer might come from a place of hatred. Sometimes we can't recognize hatred and jealousy in our spirit. The devil plants little seeds or people plant little seeds, and before you know it, you don't even know it's there. So if the world works in the world that we're in, you should be able to pray for your sister and your brother. But you don't have to announce that you prayed for them. I don't have to ever go to any of my friends and say, girl, I'll pray for you. I just do it. I don't ever have to say, girl, you better pray about that. Girl, you need prayer. We all need prayer. Why should I marginalize or single somebody out for a thing that somebody's trying to do to control you, to try to make you feel as though, oh, ooh, girl, that's your issue. That's your problem. Girl, I don't got that issue, girl. I'm going to pray for you. Pray for yourself. Pray for yourself because it can easily be you. The tides can change at any moment. And you don't want to make somebody feel as though, oh, I'll pray for you. That shouldn't be the response. The response is just to go and pray. Just do it. How hard is that? Pray day in and day out, Lord, I break that and I bind that spirit of insecurity. Break that spirit of insecurity. Any enemy of deception, any enemy of progress, any enemy of success, any enemy of positivity, I break it in the name of Jesus. I break it. All of those are all tactics. Stress, anxiety, depression, that's all tactics of intimidation. Why should you feel intimidated when you know where your authority comes from? You look up, you look to the hills, you look to the heavens, and you say, where does my help come from? It comes from the Lord. Isn't that what the Bible told us? I'm not going to sit there and say I have it 100% every day because I don't have it 100%. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't have it 100%. But I know where my help comes from. I rebuke that spirit. I bind it and I cast it out. I refuse to be oppressed. I refuse to be oppressed. Sometimes you have to say it. When people are saying something, girl, I heard about what happened to you, girl. That was crazy. In my mind, sometimes I'd be saying, I bind you, oppressor. I rebuke you, oppressor. I rebuke you, naysayer. And a lot of times you got to pray for people because you don't know what's making somebody say something. You don't know why somebody's saying it the way that all of us have, at one point or another, have all sinned, and all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. A lot of times it's not a race. The ultimate mindset should be we should all be trying to get to heaven. We should all be trying to get to the place that the Lord can say, wow, well done. As children of God, we should be seeking that for one another. And it saddens me that we don't seek that for one another anymore. In my mind, sometimes when people are saying things to me, and girl, when I was going to undergrad and I was going to go to college for the first time, whoa, you want to go to school in Houston? Houston is rough. In my mind, I said, okay, God is in Houston. You're going to go to law school? Law school is tough. I said, listen, God alone I fear. Nobody else should be instilling fear into your spirit, into your life. Why would somebody say, I'll pray for you as though you can't pray for yourself? Nobody should be praying harder for you than you. Think about it when David went against Goliath. And David, by all accounts, was not the strongest warrior. Everything in the Bible lets you know that David wasn't equipped. But the God I serve said he equips the equipped. Even if you think you don't have it, when you get there, you're going to have it. Even if I might not show that I am it, when I get there, I am it. And then when David got there and Goliath was just, how people talk their mess, talk their noise, and was saying all kind of stuff to David. And David was just like, I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. You know how strong that is? If you're strong in your character, you're strong in your voice, you're strong in the light that God shines within you, why wouldn't you tell somebody, I come against you? Anything negative that they're saying, it might, sometimes now I'm to the point now when I hear things, it burns my ears. It's just like, whoa, that's not coming from a place of God. That's not coming from the Father that I serve. You're not delivering a message through me, through God. You're delivering a message of the enemy. I rebuke you. I come against you. You have to also think about it. The Lord and the God that we serve, he gave us dominion over everything. Our mind is so vast that if we think something, we imagine it, we create it, we can have it. Do you think back in the times of Jesus, they ever thought we would have something like this to record us and send this message and disseminate this information to everybody? No. Do you think that back then they could have even fathomed a cell phone, fathomed a light, fathomed a car? No. But imagine if those naysayers would have said, ooh, you trying to come up with that? Ooh, I'll pray for you. I don't know. Like the task is impossible. Nothing is impossible with God. If you think about it in like Eden, for example, Adam and Eve had dominion over everything. They said they had dominion over the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, everything they had dominion over. But the one thing that you don't see in the Bible that it says is they didn't have dominion, is that they didn't have dominion over one another. How important is that? Are you allowing the people in your life with their words to have dominion over your destiny? Are you allowing I'll pray for you dictate why you shouldn't pray for yourself? I used to be like that. I used to give myself a pass like, oh, my mama gonna pray for me. Oh, my aunt said she'll pray for me. Ooh, my sorority sister said they'll pray. My classmate, my best friend said she'll pray for me. But I need to pray for myself. If I don't pray for myself, what service am I doing for myself? When you want something for you, you go after it for you. Not to say that people won't pray for you. They can and they will. But you know, when you want something, you go for it hard. Or you want that thing to come true when you're praying, is the same way that you have to want that thing to come true when you're not praying. Be on your toes at all times, because you have to understand, like, no matter how much you talk about something and you pray, it has to come to pass. Pray for it like your life depends on it. Not to say, because I know I pray for several people sometimes. Sometimes I might pray for a week. But what if a week don't do it? You got to think about it. Like, you know how the FBI has a task force? And you see how aggressive they are in nature and how they have to come through and do all of those things to get the point across? That's the same way the devil is. The devil has a task force, and it's of demons. The demon of insecurity, the demon of depression, the demon of anxiety, the demon of stress, the demon of negativity. Sometimes, depending on how it is, the demon of I'll pray for you. But you have to understand devil, and you have to say to him, devil, oppressor, naysayer, whomever in whatever form you come in, you can't deceive me. I also have a task force, and that task force is in the blood of Jesus. The task force that I have is my God that I serve. I believe it. So I'm just coming to you guys to say, like, I'm so excited to be doing these series and to just give you guys light, and I'll give you personal accounts. I'll give you personal stories that I know firsthand. A lot of times it's not easy to talk about your personal life, but I'm going to do it. The Lord is telling me to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't care if somebody likes it. I won't say names, but I don't care if people like it. I don't care if it's not appropriate. It's going to be said and it's going to be done. Because I believe that in telling your story and telling your testimony and spreading a message, you inspire hope. You inspire love. You inspire love and kindness. And what better way for us all to come together and have that aha moment, but then to do it all together. So I'm excited, and thank you guys for listening so much. And my prayer is that you will remain on the holy road. There's a scripture in Isaiah 35:8, and it says, this will be a highway called the holy road. No one rude or rebellious is permitted on this road. It's for God's people exclusively. We're all God's people, so everything I say will be exclusive to you. The road that we are all traveling on is exclusive of God's children. And it's time for us to come home. It's time for us to rejoice in one another. It's time for us to not be afraid. It's time for us not only to say, I'll pray for you, but I've been praying for you. I continue to pray for you. I love you. Or even if you don't have to say it, do it. Thank you guys. Have a great day.